Cabarrus County Traffic Court.
103 to 65.
Woo!
Yeah.
Not the place you want to find yourself on a Friday morning
60 and a 35.
if you're charged with excessive speeding.
Hey, let me look at your license and registration, please.
This justice system is not fair at all.
Unless maybe you hire
A lot of it's probably based on who you know.
one of a handful of lawyers.
It would concern me if that's the case, yes.
Attorney Vernon Russell shared his disbelief when we told him about the cases we identified.
Wow.
Cases of reckless driving and excessive speeding resolved during the pandemic by way of plea deals, with drivers admitting only to rear seatbelt violations or failure to notify DMV of an address change.
It's dangerous.
Greatly reduced court dispositions that don't show up on a defendant's driving record. Deals that court records show are only given to some, not all.
I would consider it unreasonable even if you offered it to everyone.
Not just unreasonable in Russell's mind, but unfair, considering prosecutors take an oath to have the criminal laws fairly and impartially administered.
The citizens of the county deserve to be treated equally.
We would all be up there taking rear seatbelts if we could.
Like Russell, attorney Howard Long says prosecutors don't offer his clients that kind of deal.
In my experience, that's extremely rare, especially if it corresponds with a high speed.
Instead, he and more than a half dozen other attorneys tell us they're accustomed to either pleading to a speeding or reckless driving charge, or at best, an improper equipment violation, a conviction that does go on your driving record and carries a more expensive fine. We wanted to show you how this all plays out, but a judge wouldn't let us bring our camera inside. So outside, we shared our discovery with drivers like Nathaniel Edwards.
I'm just here to pay off a speeding ticket.
The 18-year-old says prosecutors reduced his excessive speeding ticket to an improper equipment conviction. His punishment? A nearly $300 fine.
All they were paying is $10. Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's crazy.
It's not unusual for prosecutors to work out favorable deals for defendants. Assistant district attorneys have wide discretion to do so. But an anonymous complaint filed with the county's liaison to the state bar earlier this summer and obtained by WCNC Charlotte alleges a more coordinated effort that benefits only a few. Our analysis of court records identified nearly 70 such deals alone for one defense attorney in particular. Off camera, Todd Williford told us everyone gets these deals, and they're no big deal. On camera,
Morning.
he declined comment.
Nate Morbido, WCNC Charlotte. Do you want to say anything about these plea deals you're getting for your excessive speeding clients? Or the donation that you gave to Beth Street?
Campaign finance records show Williford is the top donor to date for Assistant District Attorney Beth Street's District Court Judge campaign. Street, who did not respond to WCNC Charlotte's request for comment, is listed as the prosecutor of record in at least 24 of Williford's rear seatbelt and failure to notify DMV dispositions.
They'll have an opportunity to talk to one of my assistant district attorneys to see if they can get the case reduced or perhaps dismissed.
District Attorney Roxanne Vanikoven, seen in this county video explaining traffic court, also declined our multiple requests for an on-camera interview. Just days after our last visit to Concord, we learned Vanikoven decided to retire months before the end of her term. Over the course of several weeks prior, the DA maintained in written statements the excessive speeding and reckless driving cases we cited make up less than 1% of all of the county's traffic cases, telling us due to pandemic-related court limitations, non-traditional pleas were given to a multitude of defense attorneys and unrepresented citizens. Vanikoven tells us the plea deals all equate to non-moving violations that result in no points on a driver's license, saying we do not differentiate one non-moving violation from another, nor does the DA's office consider the fine or fee associated with any traffic case. WCNC Charlotte reviewed hundreds of cases from 2 traffic court dockets in June and August and could not identify a single defendant charged with excessive speeding who represented themselves and received a rear seatbelt or failure to notify DMV address change conviction.
There's clearly, there's something going on.
That's because defense attorneys we spoke with say,
Have not received any such benefit.
these deals are the exception, not the rule.